frequency of yes is the oldest frequency in existence. It is older than language, older than thought, older than the first human consciousness that looked at the sky and understood itself as something looking. It is the frequency at which the universe operates in its most fundamental nature, the frequency of continuous creative offering, of perpetual abundance moving outward from the source in every direction simultaneously. Welcome to the reality revolution. This is the frequency of yes, an activation designed to completely change and transform your field into the yes field. Before we begin, I want to invite you to join the Reality Revolution tribe, where we have weekly group coaching sessions, masterminds, networking sessions, exclusive content you can't get anywhere else. It's really an amazing experience. I hope to see you there. You can find the link to join in the description. You can also find it at www.skool.com/reality revolution. The frequency of yes. The universe has been speaking to you your entire life. Every morning it has arisen with an offering. Every ordinary Wednesday has contained a woven into its fabric of small encounters and ambient occurrences, a precise and generous arrangement of exactly what your life required to move forward into its fullest expression. Every person who appeared at the periphery of your attention, every idea that rose unbidden from the quiet of a shower or the haze of waking, every book that fell from a shelf, every number that appeared repeatedly on clocks and license plates and the pages of documents. These were the universe's continuous, patient, generous attempt to communicate with the consciousness it loves and is trying to assist. The signal has never stopped. The question has always been reception. A radio tower transmits whether a single receiver exists within range of its signal or the signal travels through empty space. The music plays in the frequency whether any ear has yet learned to find it. The signal asks nothing of the listener except this: tune. Orient the receiving apparatus toward the frequency being broadcast. Release the static of contrary expectations and listen. With the particular quality of listening that belongs to someone who already knows that what they're listening for is real, that the broadcast is genuine, that the universe is a transmitter of extraordinary power and extraordinary generosity that has been attempting to reach them since the first moment of their existence. This activation is the tuning. The frequency of yes is the oldest frequency in existence. It is older than language, older than thought, older than the first human consciousness that looked at the sky and understood itself as something looking. It is the frequency at which the universe operates in its most fundamental nature, the frequency of continuous creative offering, of perpetual abundance moving outward from the source in every direction simultaneously, of existence pouring itself into form with the same inexhaustible generosity with which the sun pours light into the space around it. The sun shines, and the shining is what the sun does. It's what the sun is. The universe offers, and the offering is what the universe is. You were born into a cosmos whose most fundamental activity is the continuous, generous provision of everything required for every expression of itself to flourish. The flower receives sunlight. The river receives rain. The child receives air. These are the same gesture at different scales. The universe saying yes to itself, saying yes to its own expressions, saying yes with the totality of its being to the life that has arisen within it and asked to be sustained. You are that life. You have always been that life, and the universe has always been saying yes to you. This activation returns you to the awareness of that yes. The living, continuous, specific, inexhaustible yes that the cosmos has been directing towards your existence since before you had the language to receive it. It does this by recalibrating something fundamental in the way your consciousness is oriented toward reality. Shifting the lens through which you perceive your life from the lens of scarcity, which sees the absence of what is desired, to the lens of provision, which sees the continuous presence of what is being offered. This shift is permanent. Once the frequency of yes is genuinely received, once the consciousness has tuned to the signal that has always been broadcasting and heard it clearly, felt it in the body as a present and ongoing reality rather than an occasional blessing, it cannot fully unhear it. The way a musician who has learned to hear a particular instrument within a complex orchestration cannot unhear it once heard. The frequency of yes, once genuinely received, reorganizes the consciousness that receives it, and a consciousness organized around the genuine reception of the universe's continuous offering becomes in every meaningful dimension a different kind of life. Before you learn to want, the universe was already giving. Before the first desire formed in the infant consciousness, before the word abundance existed in you, before the concept of provision had any meaning, before you had a self-sophisticated enough to experience lack, the offering was already underway. The lungs were receiving air. The blood was receiving oxygen. The cells were receiving the precise molecular cascade of nutrients required for their function. The eyes were receiving light. The skin was receiving warmth. The entire magnificent complexity of a human body in its first hours of existence was already engaged in a continuous, seamless, effortless act of receiving from a universe that had arranged itself down to the last subatomic detail to sustain exactly this life. This was the first yes, and it has continued without interruption through every moment of your existence since. Every heartbeat is a yes. Every breath the atmosphere provides is a yes. Every photon of sunlight that has ever reached your skin, every molecule of water that has passed your lips, every calorie that has become the energy of your motion and your thought, your love, and all of it, yes. The entire material infrastructure of a life being lived is the universe in the continuous act of saying yes to the one living it. You've never been refused. You've never been told by the atmosphere that you had exceeded your allotment of oxygen. The sun has never withheld its light from you specifically. The earth has never declined to support your weight. At the most fundamental, elemental, biological level of your existence, the universe has maintained an unbroken record of absolute generosity towards you. This is the ground on which everything else rests. When the consciousness oriented towards scarcity insists that the universe is withholding, that abundance is rare and difficulty is the default, that the good things are hard to find and the difficult things arrive uninvited, it is making this argument against a backdrop of continuous cosmic provision so thorough and so complete that the argument itself could only be made by a being the universe has been sustaining in order to make it. The scarcity story is told by someone the universe has never stopped feeding. Receive the irony of that. Let it soften something that has been held tight. The shift begins now. Every frequency has a signature. The frequency of fear has one, the contracted chest, the shallow breath, the narrowed vision that scans constantly for threats and finds it everywhere because it has been calibrated to find it. The frequency of grief has one, the quality of weight in the body, the particular color of the world when loss has made it strange. The frequency of joy has one, the expansion in the chest, the Maui of the step, the way the peripheral vision widens as though the eyes themselves have grown more generous in their capacity to receive. The frequency of yes has a signature too. You have felt it. You know it in the body, the specific quality of aliveness that arrives when something unexpected and precisely right appears in your life. When the person you needed was in the room, when the idea arrived complete and luminous at the exact moment the question had reached its fullest depth. When the door opened that you had ceased to expect to open, and the opening revealed something more beautiful than the thing you had originally desired. In that moment, the moment of genuine, surprised, full-bodied reception of the universe's continuous offering, the frequency of yes is unmistakable. Body knows it as warmth. The chest knows it as expansion. The eyes know it as a sudden sharpening of the world's beauty. The mind knows it as the specific quality of rightness that belongs to genuine alignment. The felt sense of a life moving in its correct direction of the self and the universe in correspondence. This frequency is available continuously. The warmth in the chest, the expansion, the sharpening of beauty, these are all available in every ordinary moment of every ordinary day, because the universe's offering is continuous, and the frequency of yes is the constant background radiation of a cosmos that has never stopped providing. What varies is the tuning of the receiver. What varies is the orientation of the consciousness toward the offering or away from it, toward the signal or toward the static. The silence is never the norm. The silence is the tuning problem. The frequency of yes is broadcasting at this moment with the same power and the same constancy with which it has been broadcasting since before the first human consciousness learned to listen for it. It is moving through you right now. It is present in this breath, in this moment, in the specific and unrepeatable configuration of this day's offerings. The opportunities already arranged, the connections already in motion, the ideas already rising toward the threshold of awareness. Tune now to it. Consider what has been organized on your behalf without your knowledge or your instruction. While you slept last night, the universe was arranging tomorrow. The precise position of 7 billion people on the surface of this planet, each of them following the trajectory of their own life and desire and momentum, each of them moving through the world in ways that will bring some of them into contact with you today. Among those 7 billion, a specific few are moving toward intersections with your life that carry within them, in the cargo of their knowledge, their resources, their questions, their gifts, their timing, exactly what your next step requires. These people are already in motion. They were already in motion before you woke. The universe has been conducting this orchestration for the entirety of your life, arranging the encounters, timing the arrivals, positioning the information and the resources and the connections and the inspirations at the precise moments of ripeness when your consciousness was genuinely ready to receive them. Every meaningful encounter of your life, every pivotal moment, every relationship that changed the direction of everything, look back at the timing of these and feel what is true about it. It was precise. It was exactly when it was. The timing was the gift as much as the content. This is ongoing. This is happening right now. The universe is arranging tomorrow the way it arranged every day that preceded this one. The orchestration is already underway. The intersections are already being prepared. The ideas that will arrive, the opportunities that will present themselves, the connections that will spark, the resources that will flow, all of it already in motion in the invisible domain, already crossing the space between their current position and the threshold of your life. The offerings arrive regardless. They have always arrived. The difference between a life organized around the frequency of yes and a life organized around the frequency of scarcity is precisely and only this: the first receives what arrives and the second misses it. The first catches the opportunity in the conversation, the second has the same conversation and comes away empty. The first sees the opening, the second sees only the closed door. The first hears the invitation in the coincidence. The second dismisses the coincidence as random and moves on without the gift it contained. Same world, same offerings, different tuning. do you see? I want you to feel the body in this moment. Feel specifically the orientation of your expectation, the forward-facing quality of your anticipation as you move through your days. The answer to this question lives in the body before it lives in the mind. When you approach a new day, a new conversation, a new opportunity, a new turn in the road of your life, what do you expect to find there? The answer is in the quality of the next step. The tightness or the openness in the chest as you imagine the next encounter. The quality of the breath as you consider the possibility of something new arriving. The posture of the body when it faces the unknown. Braced and guarded against disappointment, or open and available to reception. This bodily orientation is the tuning mechanism. The body that braces against disappointment generates at the cellular level and electromagnetic level the frequency of a consciousness expecting difficulty. And the consciousness expecting difficulty attends selectively to the evidence that confirms its expectation. It finds the difficulty, it finds the closed doors and the absent opportunities and the silence where the yes should have been. And in finding these, it confirms the original expectation, deepens the bracing, and makes the next reception even less available than the last. The recalibration begins in the body, because the body is the instrument through which frequency is both generated and received. The body oriented toward yes generates the frequency of yes in its electromagnetic field, and this frequency is the precise resonance at which the universe's continuous offering is broadcasting. Resonance is the mechanism of reception. The receiver that broadcasts at the frequency of the signal receives the signal. Begin to orient the body toward yes now. Feel the chest softening forward. The slight but significant shift of the sternum moving away from its defended position, opening toward the space in front of it, toward the day, the encounter, the stranger whose knowledge you have yet to receive, toward the idea whose arrival you have yet to experience, toward the beauty whose presence in this ordinary moment you have yet to fully register. Feel the breath deepening into this orientation. The body angled toward yes breathes differently. The breath is fuller. It reaches more of the lung. It carries more oxygen to more of the tissue. It moves through the body with less restriction, less holding, less of the chronic partial exhale of someone who has been guarding themselves for a long time against a universe they learned to expect disappointment from. This breath, this particular, deeper, more open breath, is the first physical act of receiving the frequency of yes. Take it now. Again, and feel in the simple act of breathing deeply, more fully, more completely, the first increment of the recalibration. You have lived a life full of impossible arrivals. Examine the evidence that your own experience contains, the moments that defied probability with such precision that dismissing them as accident required more faith in randomness than the alternative required in intelligence. The phone that rang with the exact name you had been thinking of calling, the book that fell open to the exact passage that answered the exact question you had been carrying, the conversation in which a stranger mentioned without knowing your situation the precise information that resolved the precise difficulty you were navigating. These were the universe conducting its orchestration. These were the frequency of yes arriving in the specific forms it takes when it breaks through the static of expectation and makes it impossible to miss. The universe, in its profound and patient intelligence, continuously provides at this amplitude below the threshold of what scarcity consciousness can receive, yes, but always available to the consciousness whose tuning has been sufficiently cleared to hear the soft approach of a gift before it is close enough to be unmistakable. The more finely tuned the receiver, the softer the signal it can receive. The master musician hears the instrument before the audience does. The master naturalist sees the animal before the tourist does. The master of the frequency of yes perceives the offering in the landscape of their life before it was assembled itself into the unmistakable form of obvious good fortune. They feel the approach of it. They sense the rightness of a direction before the destination reveals itself. They notice the small doors before they have grown into larger ones. They follow the thread of interest and synchronicity and quiet excitement that the universe lays through the landscape of their life, and they follow it with the confident ease of someone who knows that the thread leads somewhere magnificent, because every thread the universe lays has always led somewhere magnificent. Look at your own history and see in it the evidence of a universe that has been conducting precisely this orchestration all along. The evidence is there. It has always been there. The coincidences that were never coincidental, the arrivals that were too perfect to be random, the timing that could only be described honestly and precisely as grace. See it. Let the evidence of the universe's continuous orchestration land in the body as confirmation rather than as surprise, as proof of a pattern that has always been there and will always be there, because it is the fundamental nature of the universe to offer and the fundamental nature of your existence to receive. There is a quality of consciousness that receives most completely. It is the particular quality of the open hand rather than the closed fist, the quality of the ear that is genuinely curious, rather than merely waiting to confirm what it already expects to hear, the quality of the eye that finds beauty in the landscape it moves through rather than scanning it for threat, the quality of the mind that greets the new encounter as a potential bearer of gifts rather than a potential source of difficulty. This quality has a name in the ancient wisdom of every civilization that ever thought deeply about the relationship between human consciousness and the generosity of existence. The names differ. The quality is the same. It is the quality of genuine openness, the radical availability of a consciousness that has released the chronic vigilance of scarcity expectation and is genuinely, bodily, fully available to receive whatever the universe has arranged for this day. Radical availability is rarer than it sounds. Most human beings are available to receive the good things they have already imagined wanting. They are available to receive the expected gift, the familiar blessing, the abundance that arrives in the form they've been taught abundance arrives in, but the universe's generosity is infinitely more creative than human expectation. Its offerings arrive in forms that expectation has never predicted. Its gifts wear disguises. Its openings are frequently invisible until the moment of arrival, and the consciousness that can only receive what it has already imagined will consistently miss the offerings the universe has spent its most extraordinary creative intelligence preparing. The frequency of yes receives all of it. The frequency of yes says yes to the unexpected form as readily as to the expected one. It says yes to the gift wearing a disguise, yes to the opening that arrived from a direction the mind had been tuned away from, yes to the opportunity that looked at first glance like an inconvenience or a detour, until the consciousness tuned to the frequency of yes recognized it as what it always was, the universe's creative intelligence expressing its generosity through the form this moment most precisely required. Train the yes to be unconditional. The conditional yes, the one that opens only to offerings arriving in the expected form, through the expected channels, at the expected time, is a yes with walls around it. And walls are the enemy of reception. The unconditional yes, the yes that has released its requirement about the form the gift should arrive in, is the yes the universe can work with fully and freely. Open the yes unconditionally now. Let it become the pure orientation of consciousness, genuinely available to receive whatever the universe has arranged, genuinely curious about the form the offering will take, genuinely delighted by the universe's creativity, genuinely alive to the possibility that today's arrangements are more beautiful and more generous than anything expectation could have predicted. Consider what the world looks like through the lens of the frequency of yes. The same world You've always inhabited the same streets and same faces, the same ordinary Wednesday with its ordinary requirements and its apparently unremarkable succession of moments. Through the lens of scarcity, a landscape of neutral surfaces dotted with occasional difficulties and rare blessings. Through the lens of yes, a landscape alive with offering, dense with gift, organized by an intelligence whose generosity is present in every detail for the consciousness patient and tuned enough to receive it. The stranger on the street carries knowledge you've yet to receive. The delay that rearranged your morning positioned you for an encounter the original schedule would have missed. The book that caught your eye on the shelf today contains the paragraph that answers the question you've been carrying for 3 months. The discomfort in the conversation is the universe pointing with precision to the exact place where your growth is possible and your life is waiting to expand. Every surface of the ordinary day is alive with the frequency of yes. The consciousness tuned to that frequency moves through the same world as the consciousness tuned to scarcity and lives in a completely different universe. The abundant life is available in the same ordinary day that the scarce life occupies. The difference is perception. The difference is tuning. The difference is the orientation of a consciousness toward the continuous offering of a universe that has never, for a single moment, stopped providing. Feel the world through the frequency of yes now. Feel the quality of this moment as an offering. The air you are breathing is an offering. The silence or the sound surrounding you is an offering. The capacity of the mind to receive and process and respond to these words is an offering. The fact of your continued existence, the universe still saying yes, still providing, still sustaining, is the offering that underlies all others. From this foundation of continuous yes, let the perception expand outward. Feel the day ahead as a field of offerings already arranged, positioned, in motion toward you through the natural choreography of a universe conducting its own generosity. Feel the people in it as bearers of gifts you have yet to receive. Feel the moments in it as containers of possibility whose contents will reveal themselves to the consciousness that approaches them with genuine openness. This is the world as it actually is. The frequency of yes is the frequency of reality perceived clearly. Scarcity is the frequency of reality perceived through the distorting lens of a mind that has been taught to expect less than the universe is continuously offering. Remove the distortion. Receive the world as it is. This activation does something that ordinary inspiration cannot. Ordinary inspiration elevates the spirit for a season and then fades as the condition that inspired it recedes. This activation installs a permanent shift in the fundamental orientation of your consciousness toward reality. A shift that once genuinely received and genuinely integrated remains steady when conditions change because it is grounded in something unchanging. The actual, continuous, cosmically persistent nature of the universe is offering. The installation is happening now, in this moment, as these words move through your consciousness. The frequency of yes is being genuinely transmitted, genuinely received. The body is orienting toward it. The electromagnetic field of the heart is tuning to it. The neural architecture of the mind, through the deep attention being given to this reality, is building new pathways that carry the signal of the universe's continuous generosity rather than the static of the scarcity story that occupied the same bandwidth for so long. Every time you return to this frequency, every moment you orient the consciousness toward the day's offerings before the day's challenges, every moment you catch yourself bracing against disappointment and choose to open instead, every time you receive an unexpected gift with genuine gratitude rather than the suspicious half-reception of a consciousness that cannot fully believe the good is real, the installation deepens. The pathway widens. My signal becomes clear. The frequency of yes becomes the natural resting state rather than the achieved orientation, until the distinction between receiving the frequency and living the frequency dissolves entirely, and the yes is simply what you are. And the world is simply what it has always been, a continuous, inexhaustible, precisely attentive, cosmically generous offering to every expression of life that has arisen within it, and asked in its own unique frequency to be sustained and expanded and fulfilled. You are such an expression. Your asking has been heard since the moment it first arose. The yes has always been the answer. The frequency of yes requires practice, the daily, deliberate, embodied practice of oriented reception that builds the receiver into an instrument of increasing sensitivity and increasing capacity. The practice is simple each morning, for the day's agenda claims the fresh attention of a consciousness newly emerged from sleep. Spend the first conscious moments in deliberate orientation toward yes. Feel the quality of the offerings already arranged for this day. Feel the encounters already in motion. Feel the ideas already rising toward the threshold of your awareness. Feel the beauty already present in the landscape of the hours ahead. Beauty that is always there, always available, pressing itself gently against the membrane of the consciousness that has tuned to receive it. Begin each encounter with the quiet conviction that this person is bringing something. The certainty held genuinely in the body as a felt reality, rather than merely as an intellectual commitment, changes the quality of your attention in the encounter. You listen differently. You perceive differently. You remain genuinely open to the specific gift this specific person is carrying. The knowledge, the connection, the perspective, the humor, the challenge and love, and in remaining open you receive what the closed and defended consciousness would have filtered out as irrelevant. Meet each unexpected development with the question the frequency of yes always asks. What is being offered here? The delay, the detour, the difficulty, the surprise, the apparent obstacle. Before labeling any of these as unwelcome, the consciousness tuned to the frequency of yes pauses, orients, asks, with genuine curiosity rather than defensive impatience, what the universe has placed inside this unexpected development. The answer is always there. The offering is always inside the experience, regardless of the form the experience has taken. Greet the coincidences with the ceremony they deserve, the full-bodied reception of a consciousness that recognizes the universe's handwriting when it appears in the world and greets it with genuine gratitude, genuine wonder, acknowledgement of the extraordinary intelligence at work in the apparent randomness of a life being carefully conducted from within. These practices, maintained with daily consistency and genuine bodily engagement, deepen the installation of the frequency of yes until it is simply the lens through which the world is perceived. And the world, seen through that lens, is richer, more generous, more precisely arranged, more obviously alive, with the continuous offering of a cosmos that has been conducting the orchestration of abundance since before the first consciousness learned to receive it. Beneath the yes to opportunities, and the yes to abundance, and the yes to the continuous orchestration of the universe's generosity, beneath all of these specific and precious yeses, there's a deeper yes. The yes to existence itself. The yes to the extraordinarily improbable, cosmically unlikely fact of being a conscious being alive in this universe at this moment. The yes to having senses with which to receive the world's beauty. The yes to possessing a mind capable of recognizing its own existence. A heart capable of generating love. A body capable of moving through a physical world dense with sensation and meaning. And the continuous press of life against life. The deepest yes is the yes to being here at all, This yes received fully dissolves every objection the scarcity story has ever raised, because the being who has genuinely received the gift of consciousness, who has felt in the body the radical improbability and the radical beauty of existing at all, cannot sustain the conviction that the universe is withholding. The universe gave consciousness. The universe gave the capacity for love. The universe gave the ability to perceive beauty, to generate meaning, to reach toward the full expression of a life, and to find in that reaching both the source of every difficulty and the source of every joy. The universe gave everything. The yes is complete. It is the ground beneath every other yes, the foundation beneath every other orientation toward the universe's continuous offering. The deepest tuning of the receiver to the frequency of existence itself, the most fundamental yes the cosmos has ever spoken, the one thought that created the universe, was yes. The yes that called you into being and has sustained you there through every moment of your existence. Receive that yes now. Let it move through your body, from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet, the deep, warm, foundational knowing that you are here, that you have been given the gift of consciousness and the gift of this particular life, that the universe said yes to your existence with the full force of its creative power and has been saying yes to it every moment since. From this deepest yes, every other yes flows naturally. From this foundation, the frequency of yes is simply the description of what it is to be fully awake to the life you have been given. You are tuned now to the frequency of yes. It is undeniable. If you've listened to this activation through the precise wording, the technology that I've used with my words and the frequencies in this music has created a tuning to the frequency of yes. You are tuned to it completely. You cannot deny that something has shifted in the fundamental orientation of your consciousness toward the reality you inhabit just by listening so far. The shift is real. It is present in the body as a quality of opening, a quality of warmth, a quality of forward-facing availability. That is the body's expression of the frequency of yes, having been genuinely received and genuinely installed. Carry this into the world. Carry the open chest, the deeper breath. Carry the availability that says to every encounter and every opportunity, every unexpected development in the landscape of your life, yes, I am here. I am receiving. I am tuned to the frequency of your offering, and I am available to receive it in whatever form the universe's creative intelligence has chosen to deliver today. The universe will answer this with the precision and generosity it has always used when a consciousness has cleared sufficient space to receive its continuous offering. Opportunities will sharpen, connections will arrive, ideas will move through the widened channel with the frequency. Resources will flow through pathways the old story had declared closed. The world is offering more than it has ever been received for. The world has always been offering more than it has been received for. The frequency of yes is the correction of that historic under-reception, the permanent recalibration of a consciousness toward the actual nature of the universe it inhabits, which is generous, continuous, and precisely attentive to the specific needs of every expression itself. Receive all of it unconditionally. Say it with me right now in this moment. Yes. Before I go, I want to invite you to an amazing opportunity. We're holding a 4-day event in Maui. It's our first 4-day event. It's going to be so amazing, so beautiful, so incredible. I've outlined a set of meditations and immersive teachings to create the ultimate shift. To be able to do this in a room with like-minded people will be truly transformative. Tickets are still available, and you can get discounts on the room. This is in Maui at the Maui Westin. It's an amazing location. You can get tickets now at www.brianscottlive.com/Hawaii-2026. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. If you go to the newly updated website, you'll also find a list of new events that are coming where you can get tickets for those events as well as every episode that's available. Don't miss my second YouTube channel, The Brian Scott Musical Experience, where I'm playing new music on a regular basis. And be sure to check out my art website, www.newearth.art, where we have new pieces of art coming out every day. And welcome to the Reality Revolution.